Last 8 months since the time I assumed the appointment has been extremely satisfying and fulfilling. I mentioned of the landmark events that took place in the last 8 months, and Agnipath, or the new human resource management philosophy, I think was an important component of all this. I also alluded to the events outside India that have impacted us in one way or another. In all this, what has been our prime concern or focus area has been to maintain the desired level of operational readiness at all times. And I am satisfied and happy to say that both along the LC, along the LAC, as well as in the hinterland, I think our soldiers have done this well. And that is manifested in the improved IS situation, which I alluded to some time back. My focus has also been on modernization and technology infusion, which I highlighted as one of the pillars of the transformation that we are seeking to undertake. The 4-5 pillars of transformation that I mentioned in my opening remarks is an area that we have paid special attention to, and we have made a clear roadmap with timelines and laying down clear responsibility as to who is to do what and how is this whole system going to be monitored. The impetus to Atmanirbharta, that was also one of the questions. And how do we leverage technology, or how do you catalyze the new technology or niche technologies to improve our war fighting capability is another area that has engaged our attention. All this besides, in the areas of defense cooperation, we have made good headway, and we can talk of it maybe subsequently. The gender empowerment, especially in terms of the women in the armed forces or women in the army, has again been a focus area, I think, where we have made good progress. And last but not the least, measures in terms of the well-being of our ex-servicemen, the well-being of our Veer Naris. So here again, the way I'm described, we have made good progress. And from these exactly would, follow my thrust areas, if some of you would recall, which I had spelt out when I took over. And those thrust areas were on the similar lines. Besides all this, maintaining a high level of morale and motivation of our soldiers, our troops at our times, and undertaking actions, initiatives in this regard has been something which has also been one of the thrust areas. You also alluded to what are the challenges. Well, one challenge that comes to my mind is challenge of the situation on the northern borders. But that again, I think with a firm and resolute manner, with our soldiers who are deployed along the LAC, I think we have been able to maintain a very robust defensive posture and prevent any attempts from our adversary to unilaterally change the status quo in a firm and resolute manner. Implementation of the Agnipath scheme, while we are all aware of what the benefits are, but its correct implementation, I would not say is a challenge, but is an important aspect which again has engaged our attention, and we have undertaken a number of measures to make sure that the initial 6 months to a year of the Agnipath or the Agniveer training and their subsequent integration, assimilation in the combat units or the combat force is done correctly. So overall, my effort has been to give the right direction, the right impetus to the various transformation initiatives that I mentioned. Coming to the second question in terms of what we are doing for induction of niche technologies and the status on the AK-203 program. I mentioned initially leveraging the niche technologies is extremely important, especially considering the kind of potential we have within our country, so that we are able to leverage it to further enhance our combat capability. And to that extent, I'll highlight a few issues. One, of course, is you wanted or you needed a single point contact or a nodal agency at the Army headquarters who must engage with the outside industry, academic institutes, and other stakeholders. And I'm referring to the Army Design Bureau, which in the last 2 to 3 years is now, I would say, in its fully formed shape or stage and doing very well. You also have certain other programs wherein innovation in technology is being encouraged in terms of IDEX initiative launched by the Ministry of Defense, under which we had total of 10 projects, out of which 9 work has already started. So there we see a lot of potential. We are also engaging with the leading academic institutes in the country. We already have a Indian Army cell in IIT Delhi. We plan to open 2 more such cells, one in IISc Bangalore and IIT Kanpur. So with the bright young minds and the academia, this is our effort to engage them so that we find solutions through the niche technologies to our defense requirements. Also through the provisions for emergency procurement, which some of you are aware the government provided. Through this route again, we are trying to get or meet our requirements in this field so that we then try them out, evaluate them in field, and which will then form the basis for our further capital or major procurements. As far as the AK-203 project is concerned, we are looking at about 6 lakh odd weapons which will be manufactured in collaboration with the Russians. And as per the contract, this is to happen over a period of 128 months or close to 10 years. Roughly out of this, 70,000 is to come up first in a matter of 32 months, wherein the indigenous content is required to be in the range of 5 to 70%. And subsequently, after the initial 70,000, you will have the complete indigenous AK-203 weapon that will be available to us. So to where we stand today, the initial lot or the initial, I would say, components to fuse or form this weapon, the IRRPL or the company which has been formed, I am informed that they will be able to deliver this sometime by March of this year. The initial 5,000, and subsequently they will meet these timelines as we go along.